Hello, everybody. This is Royal Highness Emperor Stuart Allen Swerdlow.
And Janet Diane Moya Swerdlow.
And this is the addendum for the Expansions News Podcast for the middle of September 2018.
And I have some very, very interesting stories
I
here.
hope they're interesting.
I'll start out with one of your favorite people, President Trump.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
He's watching me.
He's watching you. So, what I want to tell you, this has to do with filmmaker Michael Moore. You remember him?
Oh, yeah. He's a real fun guy.
It's interesting to me because we have talked about this being the last pope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Now, filmmaker Michael Moore thinks it's possible that Trump will be the last U.S. president.
I'm hoping that this is the last Michael Moore.
He said in his trailer for his new film, which is going to be called Fahrenheit 11/9, he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the last president of the United States," and that's what he says about Trump, but he does not specify why he says that and what he meant by the comment.
Well, maybe he's going to kick off and he won't see any more presidents.
Maybe, but I thought that was kind of interesting considering we talked about the last pope. Now, is this going to be our last president?
He's mentally ill, you know.
Well, they keep putting him out there. There's a reason.
Well,
I don't know. Anyway, and then one of our favorite states is Texas.
yes.
The Texas State Board of Education voted to slice the mention of Hillary Clinton and Helen Keller.
Not Helen Keller.
Helen Keller from the state's mandatory history curriculum.
I can understand Hillary, but why Helen?
But they will keep in Moses' influence on U.S. founding documents.
Moses was here?
And also the word heroic will be kept in when referring to the Alamo. The changes are part of an effort to selectively streamline information in history classes for 5.4 million school children. This is how they change history. Now, Clinton, as you know, was in the history books for being the first woman in U.S. history to win a presidential nomination by a major political party. So they're wiping her out.
Good. She deserves to be wiped out.
Helen Keller, a writer and activist born in 1888, was the first deaf and blind American to earn a college degree. So they wiped her out.
But why her? I don't get that.
That's just saying what they did. They don't tell you why unless you want to go in and read
Isn't
the
that
notes.
discrimination of a handicapped person?
Probably. But the Texas Values president, Jonathan Saenz, said in a statement, "In Texas, you don't mess with the Alamo. You don't mess with our Christian heritage. And we applaud the majority of the State Board of Education for doing the right thing by restoring our foundational rights and history."
Yeah, because weren't they trying to make the Alamo into, get rid of it because it was against the Mexicans?
Yeah, they were trying to fool things around there. And they still have a final vote coming up in November, so this isn't 100% accurate yet, but it's just letting you know what they're doing. But they are changing history. I mean, Helen Keller was a very important part of my growing
I could
up.
see Hillary. I agree with that, but Helen, I don't know.
Yeah,
Unless they're just getting rid of all ladies named with H names.
Well, maybe. That's interesting. It's possible. Because I read Helen Keller's book. We even did a play on Helen Keller. She was a big part of everything. And now, moving on to Europe, in Austria, not Australia, but Austria. Do you know that there's a mystery kangaroo loose in Austria? In Europe, Austria. Kangaroos, of course, come from Australia. Well, sometimes when I put things in the postal office and I send them to Austria,
That's because
they wind up in Australia.
Because they're brain dead.
So, the suspected kangaroo, because it could be a wallaby, has been seen numerous times.
Well, that would make a big difference, wouldn't it?
And I don't know if it would. Would it?
No.
Okay. An unnamed local police officer said, "We have called all the zoos, all the kangaroo breeders around us. No one is missing a kangaroo."
Kangaroo breeders in Austria.
We hope the owner will come forward. So
they adopt kangaroos out or something like that?
I guess. And speaking of animals, now this one was specifically interesting to me because, of course, Washington State was where I was born. And I spent a lot of time on the Olympic Peninsula and the national parks and all kinds of things.
You were an Olympian.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Think of the word Olympic. Olympian.
Okay, I'll think of that right now.
Think about that. Now, did you know on the Olympic Peninsula that there are mountain goats up in those mountains?
Well, I know there were some ladies that kind of look like goats.
Well, there are mountain goats up in there. And that was always fun to drive through the parks and see these mountain goats. Well, now they're moving them into the North Cascades from the Olympic Peninsula.
Why?
Well, this was the thing. You read the article and it's interesting. I'll tell you the story, but I think it's a cover story. Because in my opinion, we talk about this, there's earthquakes, there's volcanoes, there's a lot of things going on there. And goats, are associated with satanic ritual.
Yeah.
So you want to preserve the goats, right? If you're going to be involved in satanic ritual kind of things. So they're spending a lot of money to move those goats out of the Olympic National Park over to the North Cascades.
Usually, like they come up with a goat bus.
Yes.
And then they let all the goats in.
Yes, they're actually shooting them with tranquilizer darts and net guns.
That's
Then they're
terrible.
blindfolding, they're marking them, they're
Poor
giving them
goats.
and they're moving them over there.
That gets my goat.
Now, what's interesting to me is they say that that these goats are not indigenous to the parks, and that they were introduced in 1925.
You know, they do make a really good goat stew.
But the thing that bothers me is if they're not indigenous to the park, how did they get there? So they said they were introduced in 1925, but no matter where I looked, and I don't have a billion hours of time to research, but from what I could find, nobody said who introduced them and why.
Well, obviously they're illegal alien goats.
Well, I think maybe they are native to the area, and that's just what they want people to believe so that they can move them out, because I think there's something coming to the Olympic Peninsula, and that's why they're moving the goats out.
When you were little, did you have a baby goat pet?
No. But they did say that the population is about 725 animals. Now, this was also interesting to me, because they got to put in poop and pee stuff wherever you go. So one of the reasons that goats like humans is because they're attracted to human urine,
What?
backpacks, and sweat on clothing. Now, I don't believe that for a second. I'm sorry. That's what they're claiming. And so that's why they're a nuisance to people.
So if you want to go to... So all they got to do is just pee all the way to the Cascades, and the
they'll
goats will follow them.
Yeah, that's good.
I can help them do that,
And backpacks, I guess, lay a trail of backpacks and sweaty clothing.
I could do all of that.
I just think it's really kind of a ridiculous thing, and it's going to cost a lot of money. They hope to relocate 100 goats by September 24th, and between now and next year, they'll relocate several hundred more.
Maybe the European Union will take in the illegal goats.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me, because they're not really telling you everything. So I think it has to do with there's some kind of symbol for things that are happening, and they don't want this symbol to go down with the ship. That's what I think. So those are my mysterious and bizarre stories for this episode. But I will tell you, mysterious and bizarre. How about the Montauk Project?
How about it?
Are you mysterious and bizarre?
Yes.
Okay, if you haven't read Stuart's autobiography, he's very mysterious and bizarre. You don't want to miss it.
In fact,
Montauk.
that's me wearing the butterfly wings.
It's naked.
When I had long black
It's
hair.
naked.
Oh, yeah.
That's you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now maybe that's your tattooed chest.
No, that's the back of me.
Well, you don't. You just like turn around like.
No, because that would have been obscene.
No. You twist so you see the front and the back at the same time. Anyway, Montauk Alien Connection, Blue Blood, True Blood, and True World History Saga. These 3 books will help prepare you for our upcoming January class. I'll give you some background information if you're interested in attending. And again, I can fit 4 pounds of books into an envelope. So these are a good set. If you have not read Decoding Your Life or the White Owl Legends, this is also a good set.
That's also a picture of me.
Yeah, a white owl, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're pure as the driven snow.
I am.
If you like Native American legends, this is a great book, The Archetypal Story of Creation. Mm-hmm. Fascinating read. And Decoding Your Life, Universal Law. So these are great to add to your library. And if you have children or you're non-native speaker English, these are also great. This can go in almost anywhere. There's 4, but they're very small with lovely pictures.
I'm on every cover.
Yeah.
That's all me.
Stuart likes the pictures.
Yeah.
So he reads these all the time. So we have one on archetypes, protection, auras, chakras. As I was going to say, that's Stuart's favorite. So we can slip that in any book.
Mm-hmm. That's how I look in the morning when I wake up. My face all different colors.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. So that said, remember, comment, like, subscribe, and share. Tell all your friends about hyperspace and oversoul techniques, because it can change your life for the better.
Yeah.
All right?
That's it for now.
Bye.
Bye.